Tonight on KGW News, a startling surprise taken out with the trash. How a sanitation worker caught a suspect hiding in a garbage bin. Plus.
And in Estacada, a barn fire kills 4 horses. How the community is helping through this tragedy.
If it weren't for them, I don't think I could keep it together.
Then President Trump lays out his priorities and breaks his own record for the longest ever State of the Union.
This is the golden age of America.
While Portland's Frog Brigade joined Oregon Democrats in an alternative, some called the State of the Swamp.
When Donald Trump is in charge, it means the billionaires are in charge.
And later, meet the Oregon athletes getting ready to inspire and hit the slopes in the Milan Cortina Paralympics.
Make people realize that they can do a lot more.
But first to that breaking news in an Amber Alert out of Multnomah County where authorities are looking for this woman, 37-year-old Ann Quarles. Authorities say she took off with her 2 children even though she does not have custody. The girls are ages 7 and 8. Deputies say they talked to Quarles on the phone today and she told them she was in Moses Lake in eastern Washington but would not give her exact location. They say she did not plan to return the children who detectives believe may be in danger, and they're asking anyone who sees them or their mother to immediately call 911. Well, to a live look at Capitol Hill now, where President Donald Trump gave a marathon State of the Union address, the longest in American history. The president using his speech to declare he's ushered in, quote, the golden age of America, and listing his achievements during the first year of his second term. This despite polls showing falling approval ratings on his handling of both the economy and immigration. And in what was arguably a made-for-TV moment, the president also challenged everyone to show where they stood on immigration, at least on one particular question.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Well, most Democrats, you can see the left side of the chamber, did not stand. At one point, the president getting into a shouting match with some, calling Democrats, quote, crazy and telling them they should be ashamed of themselves. The president also painting a rosy picture of the stock market, saying it hit all-time highs and offering some policy prescriptions, a war on fraud led by the vice president, and further plans for tariffs, saying they would one day replace income taxes.
I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country.
Well, there were, however, a few moments of unity, including when Republicans and Democrats both applauded in support of condemning political violence of any kind. And there were moments that also appeared designed to inspire. The president awarding a number of medals to veterans as well as to a National Guard Staff Sergeant, Andrew Wolf, who was injured during a targeted attack last year just blocks from the White House. The U.S. men's hockey team also making an appearance in the press gallery following its standout run, winning gold on Sunday during the Winter Olympics. All right, let's bring in Alma McCarty now to get into local reaction. Alma, that includes some Oregon lawmakers who skipped the speech and who protested at an event alongside the Portland Frogs.
Yeah, David, there were only 3 Oregon lawmakers who actually attended, but the rest did sit this one out. As one example, Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici, who held a telephone town hall instead, said she wouldn't be there to listen as the president, quote, lies, demonizes immigrants, and threatens democracy.
On Tuesday, some Oregon lawmakers chose calls from constituents over the State of the Union.
When you're done with the fantasies, when you're done with the exaggerations, when you've heard all the untruths, you're still not getting anything that resembles our state.
Senators Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley opted for a joint town hall, answering questions about tariffs, access to the Epstein files, elections, immigration, and more.
Call us, demonstrate in the streets, demonstrate outside our offices, Let us know how concerned you are. Let everyone know in the administration how concerned you are.
A few of those concerned citizens made the trip to D.C. in those famed frog suits that have become so popular at protests in front of Portland's ICE building.
If you had your head buried in the sand last year, you might have missed that the symbol of defiance in the United States of America became the frog.
The nonprofit behind this rebuttal, entitled The State of the Swamp, brought in the Portland Frog Brigade to help convey their message.
Joy is resistance. Creativity is resistance. Community is resistance.
Congresswoman Maxine Dexter declined to attend the State of the Union, as did Congresswoman Andrea Salinas, who stated in part, "I refused to participate when President Trump made a mockery of it by spreading partisan lies to advance his dangerous and harmful agenda."
Well, you can't win a fight if you're not there.
Representative Janelle Bynum was, however, in attendance, later calling the president's speech, quote, "more of the same divisive BS." I can't say I'm surprised.
Washington Senator Patty Murray also skipped the speech, holding a virtual address earlier today. David?
Alma McCarty with the local reaction to the speech. Thanks, Alma. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. Authorities in Gig Harbor, Washington, northwest of Tacoma, say a man stabbed 4 people to death before a deputy killed him. A deputy was serving what's called a no-contact order when neighbors called 911 to report the man was stabbing people outside the home. 3 minutes later, the deputy arrived, saw what was happening, and shot him. All 4 stabbing victims, believed to be adults, have died. Court documents indicate a history of violence and concern at the address, including a mother filing multiple protection orders against her adult son. In Clackamas County, a murder trial is now underway for a man accused of killing his wife near their Welch's home in 2024. In opening statements, prosecutors said Michael Fournier's 12-year marriage was ending. He was served divorce papers less than 2 days before his wife Susan went missing. We spoke to Susan's brother outside the courtroom, who says Michael was going to be left with nothing after the divorce.
His name was never on the lease. She bought it for the life insurance money from her husband.
Well, the defense only spoke briefly, indicating to jurors it plans to present evidence that will prove Fournier's innocence. New tonight, 5 teenagers are facing charges in connection with the killing of this man during a November robbery in Portland's Lentz neighborhood. Police say the teens invaded Kevin Cooper's home and shot him in front of his family. Cooper died weeks later. His family says he was a grandfather, a minister at a local church, and a man devoted to his family. Each of the teens face slightly different charges ranging from first-degree murder to assault and unlawful use of a weapon. And authorities have cited a Salem-Kaiser bus driver making an unsafe left turn that ultimately resulted in a crash that killed another driver. This is in West Salem on Highway 22 around 10 Monday morning. State police say the school bus driver attempted that left turn onto southbound Highway 51 and caused that head-on collision with an SUV. The driver of the SUV died at the scene. Around 60 high school students were on the bus for a field trip. One student and the bus driver were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Let's take a live look over downtown Portland now, where the rain is starting to move out tonight. Chief Meteorologist Matt Zafinos here with the first look at your weather impact forecast. Hey there, Matt.
Hey, David, thanks a lot. You know what? There's even a few breaks in the clouds, I'll show you. But up at Timberline, not so much. Still snowing there right now. It is down below freezing at 31 degrees. And yes, 13 inches of new snow today. Now, we captured a time lapse of the snow as it was falling a little bit ago, coming in fast and furiously. But even here, it is going to begin to wind down during the overnight hours. This is from our Vancouver sky cam, the Springs at the waterfront. And you see that point of light right there? That's a star. Yes, the stars are out. The moon's a half moon. That's up in the southwestern sky as well. So the rain is pushing out. The sky is clearing, and we're down to 38 degrees. But notice humidity is at 100%. That means with the clearing sky, fog is likely to form in the valleys overnight tonight. So be aware of that for the morning commute. May be thick, but you can see the rain has all but moved out of the Portland area. In fact, it has just a little bit of snow left on Mount Hood. Otherwise, a drying trend begins after a very wet couple of days, and it begins right now and extends with sunshine tomorrow. I'll let you know how warm we get later in the week, David, in a bit.
Yeah, looking like a beautiful Wednesday. Thanks, Matt. Well, some happy cheers tonight at PDX's passengers on board a flight from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, got to see their families again. This was the first direct flight from PV To PDX, it has not been canceled since the unrest in the region started over the weekend. Now, while many passengers told us they were glad to be home, none of them wanted to talk on camera. Airlines, by the way, canceled flights to western Mexico when violence erupted after Mexican military forces killed one of the country's most notorious drug kingpins. In retaliation, suspected gang members lit cars on fire and barricaded roads. Conditions have now calmed down considerably since Sunday, though the State Department is still warning Americans in parts of the region to shelter in place. New tonight, the aftermath of an Estacada fire that destroyed a family's barn and killed 4 beloved horses. Catherine Cook shows us how that family is coping.
Smoke still rising from what used to be Laura Martin's Estacada horse barn a day after fire ripped through it.
My heart sank instantly.
It was Monday morning. Laura's 5 horses and donkey were inside as the flames spread.
My son tried to go in there. He opened all the stalls. He tried so hard to get them to go out, and they just wouldn't. He risked his life.
In the end, only 2 made it out. Benny the donkey and Apana, Laura's 40-year-old mare. 4 other horses died.
Words can't describe it. My horses are my life.
3 wild Mustangs and 1 Pinto.
They're very special. They're all rescues.
Yeah, it takes a special kind of person to dedicate their life to that.
Lisa Sink,
Laura,
helped train 2 of Laura's horses. She knows just how special they are.
They're healing animals. Their vibration is on another level, and they can actually heal people.
Laura says her horses were her therapy for depression and anxiety.
I could go and just sit with them, and they would even come and they'd lay down next to me when I'd be sitting out there. And they would just rest their head on my lap and just love me.
It's unclear how the fire started. Investigators can't go in until it's completely out. In the meantime, Laura has other animals she needs to care for. 10 goats, geese, and these 2. All of their feed, gear, hay, and shelter also burned in the fire. A local horse rescue donated this temporary shelter for the surviving equines, and loved ones started a GoFundMe for those who can help in other ways.
I'm overwhelmed with everybody's generosity.
Maybe one day horses will return to Laura's farm.
Everybody wants to help her try and replace them. And we'll find the right ones when the time is right.
For now, their spirit remains, and one certainty.
They knew they were loved. They know.
In Estacada, Catherine Cook, KGW News.